And as we're gearing up for St. Patrick's Day, it's time now for an Irish Throwback Thursday. Of course, each week we take a walk down memory lane and look at pictures from Buffalo's past. Today we're embracing Buffalo's Irish side as we learn about it from a local author who wrote the book Against the Grain. As Buffalo transformed into a transportation hub and industrial city in the early 1900s, Irish immigrants made up a large part of the population. As you can see here, many immigrants worked industrial jobs at places that we see often, like the grain elevators. We're joined by Tim Bohen, who is the author of Against the Grain. Now, I want to get right into the book because, of course, we've invited you here to sort of prepare us for St. Patrick's Day on this Throwback Thursday. So when we're talking about Against the Grain, what are we talking about here?
Well, this project actually started out as a project to find out the correct spelling of my last name, and along the way I uncovered one of the most important neighborhoods in Buffalo. And as you said, it is the first Irish neighborhood in the city of Buffalo, with workers that worked along the waterfront, in the grain elevators, and other longshoreman positions.
Now, I want to pull up some pictures because, of course, Throwback Thursday, we always share pictures. So we're going to go through them, and you can kind of explain to me where they are and sort of the relevance of this. So what are we talking about when we see this one?
Well, that's a picture from a kind of a sub-neighborhood in the First Ward called the Beach, and that was a community along modern-day Furman Boulevard where there were about 1,000 Irish and Portuguese settlers that were squatters on undeeded, untaxed land, and it kind of shows the humble beginnings that a lot of us that come from that area where we came from.
All right, let's move to the next photo, and what are we seeing right here? I do believe it is the Figgy Corners.
Okay, yep, that's a picture of Fingy Connors. He's one of the most important first warders from the 19th and early 20th century. Dropped out of school at about 13. He controlled who worked on the docks, led to the Great Strike of 1899, where he cut the wages of his friends and family, kind of looked at as a villain. He went on to become one of the wealthiest Buffalonians and the largest private employer on the Great Lakes in his time.
Now, I can imagine that a lot of people aren't learning about these people in school, so this is kind of maybe the first time they're hearing these names or maybe associating these to their own history.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, a lot of these things were new to me, even though I had kind of a background from South Buffalo area. I uncovered a lot of interesting historical events and people that I had never known about until I did the research.
So let's pull up the next picture, and this is our last picture, and this is another person that maybe we should become familiar with.
Yeah, this is Jimmy Slattery. Jimmy Slattery was Buffalo's first celebrity athlete, if you will. He was the light heavyweight champion in 1927. He had kind of a rags to riches story, and then unfortunately a tragic ending, but he's still looked at as a hero in the First Ward. Somebody who was very, very generous, had accumulated about $5 million in his lifetime and gave a lot of it to various charities and causes in the First Ward. So people still remember him to this day, and listed as 7th on the slickest all-time boxing list.
So then for people, that want to pick up a copy of Against the Grain, maybe they want to learn a little bit more about their heritage, where can we find this book?
That book, you can find it at Barnes & Noble, Talking Leaves, Dog Ears Bookstore, the Buffalo History Museum, really anywhere where they sell books, or online as well.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on this very special Throwback Thursday.